present tense. Good Thursday evening. Tonight's video is pretty late. Sorry about that. I had something going on tonight, how pretty late. So I'm hopping on here really late tonight, but I figure you can watch it tomorrow if nothing else, but I wanted to make sure I got something up for you. So a couple things people have been asking me about lately that I just wanted to put into a quick video tonight is sometimes when people are in a toxic relationship or they've been, they're in the midst of it and they haven't left yet, we tend to question, are we the ones that are the abusive ones? Are we the ones that are the narcissists? Guys, you will not believe how common of a question this is. You will also, it'll blow your mind. I had that same question myself when I was in an abusive relationship. And it's a really common question for us. It's a common occurrence for us to look at ourselves and think, and ask ourselves, what if I'm the abusive one? And a lot of the reason why we do that is because of something called reactive abuse, okay? So it is exactly what it sounds like, reactive abuse. So this is where the victim of abuse ends up displaying some of those same behaviors as the abuser. So, being controlling or being manipulative or losing their temper, swearing, calling them names, flying off the handle. All these things that the abuser does, it's so common for the victim to start doing them as well. So I want to just talk about that a bit, why it is, and assure you that you are not the abuser and you are not a narcissist, okay? So will that be good for tonight? I hope you like it. Okay, so bottom line really is this. Abuse yields more abuse. You guys might have heard that phrase that goes, hurt people, right? And I think I've put that out here on this page before too, but it really does. So people who have been abused feel really angry, really confused, really frustrated, right? And especially if the abuse is subtle and or it goes on for a really long time. That subtle abuse really sneaks up on you to the point where you can just one day explode. If you're exploding multiple times, that's also normal. But the longer that it goes on, the more abuse you're going to see even coming from you. And it's normal. You happy to hear that? It's normal. Let's talk about it. So for the victim, we often also are blamed by the abuser. We're also, if we react in a ridiculous way where we really lose our shit, okay? If we react in a way like that, then it's often put back on us as, see, you're the crazy one. See, you're the abusive one because I didn't raise my voice, but you did. I didn't throw something, but you did. I didn't throw a tantrum, but you did. See, you're the crazy one. Does that sound familiar? Well, you are in the right place if it does, because I will tell you that it is one of their favorite tactics, is pushing your buttons until you blow up and then saying, see, you're the crazy one. This is normal. Now, the thing is that really sucks for us as victims is we have a conscience. We feel terrible after we've blown up at our abuser. We feel terrible if we've taken our anger out on someone else other than the abuser. We feel awful about it. We feel guilty and we carry around a lot of shame. That's because we know it's wrong, okay? We're reacting to it and we know it's wrong. So, over time, also, like if you're finding yourself become more irritable, over time, as the abuse goes on, it can take less and less prodding and poking to get a reaction out of the victim, because it's just you're waiting for it, right? You're always waiting for a fight. You're ready for a fight, so it can become something very easy for them to do, to get a reaction out of you right away. Okay. So if you think about it also, any animal, humans included, are going to bite if they've been provoked long enough. Okay, so this is normal. It's normal. Are you happy to hear that? I hope so. Also, what we can even see is victims end up even attacking the abuser first. Okay? Because, and this happens because you're anticipating it. You're anticipating that fight. It's been so long that as soon as they walk in the room, you're instantly triggered and you're instantly reacting, right? You're instantly defensive, outwardly defensive, because that's what you're feeling inside. And you kind of come out of this conditioned to believe that you're going to be attacked with about every interaction with this person. Okay, as the victim. And that's also very normal. All right. So this creates a really defensive mindset, right? A really defensive mindset that can look very offensive in behavior. Okay, because you're feeling defensive, and it can come off, your behavior can come off as being very offensive to them. So one of the things that it kind of makes you ask yourself, am I the problem? Am I the abusive one? Because I'm the one always flying off the handle. They can be, especially with subtle abusers who can do things without yelling at you, without shoving, without pushing, but that abuse is so insidious, you know what I mean? Then you end up thinking, well, maybe I'm the problem because I'm the one actually blowing up. Very common to wonder this, okay? I can tell you, I remember in my relationship when it got really bad, the past, I want to say like the last 2 years of being in the marriage, it was really bad. I always felt like I was waiting, for that, for what the attack was going to be. And it got to the point when my ex I would see his car come in from work, I would instantly, you know what I mean? And look around my house and make sure everything was in the place it was supposed to be, because I literally remember him walking in the house, you guys, and looking around at every single thing. And I knew what all the triggers were. Was there a pile of stuff on the counter? Were the kids' toys not put away? Was something not vacuumed? Was something not picked up? Was a light on that shouldn't be on? Was the garage door supposed to be open this time, or was it supposed to be closed? And I would go through every scenario, and I would often try to figure out what time he was coming home so that I could have everything put back the way it was supposed to be, okay, according to him, before he walked in the door. But even still, he would find something. And I'll never forget, we had like a few steps coming up into our main level from the garage, and he would come in and I would watch him look around the kitchen. That was the room he walked into, and look around for something. If he didn't see anything there, he made something up. I swear to God. All right. So I was so used to waiting. What is it going to be this time? So if I saw him leave a light on or have a light on in the house that I was told is not supposed to be on unless A, B, and C, okay? I know, nuts, but that's what it was like. I would point it out right away and say, oh, you left that light on. Oh, you screwed the toothpaste cap back on the wrong way. Remember, you told me the right way to turn it on. Oh, you didn't close that window. I would go back and start prodding at him. Nuts, right? But I would. I was a blower upper. I got to the point where the thing that triggered me the most was being gaslighted, especially when it was so blatantly in my face. If it was, I didn't say that in, 30 seconds prior, he had said that. I'd say, you did say that, right? Well, my reaction became, you did say that, and arguing with him, it got to the point where I wouldn't even, I would scream, you did say that. So I'd go from like 0 to 100, because there were times I would just, but you did just say that. But then after abuse went on and on and on for so long, I went from just 0 to 100 right away. And it would go into the screaming, you did say that, and stomping and maybe, slamming no door or something. This kind of behavior that I never displayed, right? And so then he'd say, see, you're the crazy one. Crazy Carly. It made me so mad. So gaslighting was my biggest trigger. I would blow up. Absolutely. But you know why we do this? And in the way that, in the things I would say or the way I would react could be seen as very intimidating or could be seen as abusive as well. That's reactive abuse. But it was the only way I could get any kind of rise out of him. But what would I get? I'd get the, see, you're crazy. It didn't, there was nothing you can do. When you're in this relationship with an abuser, there's nothing you can do. You cannot win no matter how you act. You need to just know this, okay? But narcissists often, you know, and other toxic individuals, they perceive themselves to be under attack for no reason. This is common. I'm going to try to find some more supportive research on this for you, because this is really interesting. They live their lives perceiving themselves to be under attack, okay? But they're actually not. So the behavior appears really offensive when they're you know, being abusive and controlling and all that, but it's actually defensive. Now, so if you can look at it this way, here's narcissistic reactive behavior. I dreamt you hit me first. And here's as the victim's reactive behavior. You hit me first. You get that? They perceive, I dreamt, okay, this is just like I don't know if I could say a metaphor, I don't know. I dreamt you hit me first versus you hit me first. Like there was an actual event in our situation. In theirs, they're just running around feeling defensive all the time. It's really interesting psychology, but here's what you can do about reactive abuse. The obvious is to get the hell out of the relationship, right? But beyond that, whether you're in it or where you're not, because you're going to be triggered by other people in your life, even people who you have healthy relationships with, because when you get defensive, your level of defense is going to feel more intense. Even with people who love you, you're going to feel more defensive, but there's a way you can control that outward defense without, you know, just sweeping it under the rug and not dealing with it, okay? So, you know, because again, as victims, we understand that this kind of reactive behavior that we do as a result of being abused, this reactive behavior, we understand it's wrong. It doesn't make us feel good. When we turn into someone that we don't even recognize, that we don't even like, that we don't even know, oftentimes this is a big reason why we end up leaving, because we're like, I don't even know who I am anymore. I have turned into this, you know, really angry, passive aggressive, controlling jerk, right? And I don't want to be that way, so we leave. Okay, but here's some things you can do. You have to remember, number one, you have the power to not let them turn you into someone you don't like. Okay, because you can feel reactive on the inside and not do it on the outside. You do have the power to do that. A lot of it is mindset. It takes a lot of time, a lot of work, but I've done it. I seldom react to people, even people who, if I know I'm just being triggered, I won't outwardly react. I've got that down pretty good. I'm not saying I'm perfect for the most part. Number two, one thing you really need to do is forgive yourself for not having known better. You know, forgive yourself for not being able to have done better until you knew better. Now that you know this, you need to forgive yourself for how you acted in the past and just be more conscious of how you're acting in the present and in the future, okay? Thinking before you react. Okay, so stopping and thinking, that's something that you need to do. It's a brain train, training your brain to do this, okay? But that's something that's really important. Another thing is, and my therapist talks about this a lot, observe your emotions without judging them, okay? Or observe how you reacted without judging it, okay? Another thing is just keeping like a journal to write down, you know, what happened up until that point that I was triggered, okay? Even like a mood journal. I've heard there's mood journals, and I've kind of done something like that before. I never really got that into it, but I kind of think that if I would have known about that when I was in a relationship and shortly out of the relationship before I was feeling a lot better, I wish I would have used something like a mood journal. I think that would have been cool. So, and then this whole idea of gray rock, which we've talked about before. So gray rock is not meant to suppress your emotions or suppress your reactions, but it's more to control them. So trying to just disengage from whatever they're trying to pull you into. And this one is really helpful also after you've left, okay? Because things do continue to, they do continue to try to pull you into that vortex of insanity. So, and the most important thing, guys, is remember who you are and who you want to be, because if you can keep that in the forefront of your mind, it's a lot easier to deal with or to make a better decision in the heat of the moment. All right, that's all I got for you tonight. I hope that was helpful. I know that people are going to be able to relate to this that have been in toxic relationships, because it is so hard, but I just want you to know you are not alone. No, you are not the narcissist. No, you are not the toxic person. No, you are not abusive. This is reactive abuse. It's a real thing. Look it up, even. Look it up. Do some research on it. There's a lot to be learned from about reactive abuse. So have a great rest of your night, you guys, and I will talk to you soon. All right, take care of yourselves. Bye.